This is the dbrand grip case, and this is actually my second time reviewing it. About 3 months ago, I did a partial review of this case, and I didn't recommend it. And the reason was pretty simple. It kept getting caught in several different pant pockets I'd use every day. And because that became such a frustrating issue, I didn't even feel like it was worth doing a drop test at the time. But then the internet spoke up. A lot of you told me you weren't having the same pocket snagging problem. And more importantly, a lot of you still wanted to know how the grip case would actually hold up in a drop test. On top of that, dbrand now sells this case as a fully customizable option, which was not available when I first looked at it. So today, we're giving the dbrand grip case another shot. This time, it's getting the full 4-eyed tech guy treatment. So that means real-world daily use, a closer look at the fit, buttons, grip, and customization, and of course, dozens of everyday drops. So the two big questions are simple. Does the dbrand grip case still have that pocket snagging issue after extended use? And more importantly, can it actually protect my iPhone from real-world drops? Let's take a look at the most important thing first, basic protection. Now, the dbrand website claims the grip case offers military-grade protection, but they don't list the exact testing standard they used. And that matters because military-grade protection can mean very different things depending on the actual test. So before doing any drop testing, I first wanted to check one of the most important parts of basic protection, the front screen lip. For this, I did my usual marker and white paper tilt test to see if the front lip is tall enough to keep the screen from touching the ground during a face-first impact. Unfortunately, the dbrand grip case failed this test. There was marker transfer on the paper, which means there is a chance the screen could make contact with the floor during a face-first drop. Now, one of my viewers mentioned that this test may have some flaws. They suggested that instead of just doing the tilt test, I should also slide the phone face down against a piece of white paper to see if there is any marker transfer. So I marked up the screen again, gently placed the phone face down on the paper, and got ready to slide it. But before I even moved the phone, I decided to lift it back up just to see if there was any transfer from simply placing it down. And unfortunately, there was already a lot of marker transfer. So even when the case is just lying flat face down, there's still a chance the screen can touch the surface depending on how flat or even that surface is. Now, to be clear, this doesn't automatically mean the case will fail a real drop test. A drop is dynamic. The case can flex, the phone can hit at an angle, and the surface itself can change the result. But this does mean the front lip is not as reassuring as I'd like, especially for a case that claims strong drop protection. So now the real question is simple. Can a case with a questionable front lip still survive 60 real-world drops? Let's take a look at the raw footage. Alright guys, this is the dbrand grip drop test video. Just wanted to show you guys the condition of the case first. I haven't done any drop testing on this, so it's pretty much brand new. Let me show you the condition of the phone real quick so that you guys can see that there is no obvious damage to the phone at the start of the test. You see the screen's working, camera's all good. Start the test. So we're going to try to do 60 drops with this case. Half of those are going to be from above my head, and then the rest of them are going to be from normal everyday heights, anywhere between 2 feet all the way up to 4 feet. Check out the new kicks. Hopefully this will prevent my feet from getting hit. Alright, so this is drop number 1. I'm just going to take a quick look here, make sure everything's good before I continue with the rest of the testing. So far, looks good. We're going to move on to the rest of the drop test. By the way, if you like seeing these real-world drop tests and want to support the channel, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comments what case you'd like to see me review next. Drop number 30. Alright guys, this is immediately after 30 drops from above my head. I just want to show that the screen's working first. It's not cracked, not broken. I'll show you that camera still works. Different. So this is checking the different camera lenses. You can look at the back of the lenses. A little bit of dirt, I think, but camera's good. Let's look at the case. See how the corners did. There's some obvious wear in there. Yeah, pretty good amount of wear. It's visible in the corners. Let's check the phone itself. Something on the corner here. I don't think it's the phone. I think it's actually from the case. Let me take a closer look at that. Yeah, so you can actually see here, the phone's not broken, it's the case that broke. There's a little piece of the TPU edges that actually broke off of the case corner. I don't know if you can see that. So I should be able to just take this off. Interesting. That hasn't happened with any other case. You'll see some damage on that corner right there, but that was from many months ago when I was using Apple's clear case. So this is not new damage. But that is pretty odd. I wasn't expecting to see that. Alright, let's move on to the rest of the drop test. Okay guys, just want to show you right after 60 total drops. Let's look at the case first. So pretty obvious wear on the edges here. Looks pretty bad actually. Wow. Well, even worse than the Kadabi wear. But the back's still looking okay. Some blemishes here. One thing I noticed was, so you can actually see where that piece of the case had broken off earlier. Let's look at the phone. So the most important thing is that the screen is intact. You can see everything works fine. All the different camera lenses works. Look for any new damage. No new damage. That's 60 drops with dbrand grip case. Now that we know whether the dbrand grip case can actually survive real-world drops, let's take a closer look at the materials, fit, finish, and long-term experience. The dbrand grip case uses a polycarbonate backplate with TPU edges, which is a very common material combination for phone cases. The harder polycarbonate back helps give the case structure, while the softer TPU edges help with grip, flexibility, and impact absorption. But looking inside the case, there's no microfiber lining. I also don't see any obvious TPE inserts or extra impact material in the inner corners. And from what I can tell, the corners don't appear to have any major extra reinforcement, like thicker TPU or larger air pockets. So even though the case did really well in my drop testing, the internal design itself looks pretty simple compared to some of the more rugged cases I've tested. The back plate is smooth, but this is also where dbrand has made one of the biggest changes since I first looked at this case. When I originally reviewed it, this version was not fully customizable, but now, dbrand lets you customize the back with all kinds of designs, which makes the grip case feel a lot more personal and a lot more interesting than it did at launch. But the real story with this case is obviously the grip. The entire edge of the case has this textured, grippy surface. So no matter where or how you hold it, your hand is almost always touching something with texture. And that's what this case does really well. It feels secure in the hand, it doesn't feel slippery, and if grip is your #1 priority, this is easily one of the grippiest cases I've tested. The case fits nice and tight around the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and even after 60 drops, it never popped off the phone or slipped off the corners. That's important because I've tested other cases that felt tight during normal use, but still had corners slip off during impact. However, that didn't happen here. But long-term use is where my concerns start to come back. The edge material shows wear pretty easily, especially after drop testing. And the same texture that makes it secure in your hand is also what makes it less smooth going in and out of certain pockets. Not every single time, and based on the comments from my first video, this clearly does not happen to everyone, but in my own day-to-day use, with the pants and pockets that I normally wear, I still noticed it enough for it to bother me. Now besides overall protection, the next thing you interact with most on the phone case is the buttons, ports, and swipe gestures. Because even if a case protects your phone well, bad buttons or uncomfortable gestures can ruin the daily experience. On the dbrand grip case, the buttons are integrated into the case, so there's no customization there. But the button feel is mostly really good. The volume buttons, power button, and camera control area all feel clicky, responsive, and satisfying to press. They also have a nice audible click, which makes the case feel more premium during daily use. The only weak spot is the action button. That button feels much softer and mushier compared to the rest, and it doesn't have the same satisfying click or sound. At the bottom of the case, the charging port, speakers, and microphone areas are fully open, and all of my charging cables fit without any issues. But the biggest highlight here is the left and right swipe gesture experience. The front lip on the sides taper down toward the middle and sits almost flush with the screen. It might actually be the lowest side lip I've felt on any case I've tested so far, even lower than the Rebel Gen 7 case I recently reviewed. Because of that, swiping from the left or right side feels incredibly smooth. It almost feels like there's no case on the phone at all. However, the top and bottom lips are still raised for protection, so you will feel the case more when swiping from those areas. So overall, the buttons are mostly excellent, the port access is problem-free, and the side gestures are probably some of the best I've tested. I just wish the action button felt as good as the rest of the buttons. So, was the dbrand grip case worth reviewing twice? For the sake of keeping my case reviews consistent, yes. At its most basic function, the dbrand grip case did a fantastic job protecting my iPhone 17 Pro Max after 60 drops. And it did it while still keeping a relatively thin design with excellent grip. But for me, the original problem still remains. During day-to-day use, this case still got snagged in my pockets, which was the main reason I couldn't recommend it the first time. On top of that, the case showed a pretty significant amount of wear after the drop test, and a small piece even broke off during testing. So if long-term appearance matters to you, that's something to keep in mind. It also doesn't have a kickstand, but to be fair, none of dbrand's iPhone 17 Pro Max cases do. So if pocket snagging, visible wear, and the lack of a kickstand don't matter to you, and grip is your number one priority, then the dbrand grip case still makes sense. But for me, I actually think this is the weakest of dbrand's 3 iPhone 17 Pro Max case options. At around $55, it sits in that upper mid to lower premium price range, and there are a lot of strong cases competing at that price. So while the dbrand grip case absolutely proved it can protect the phone, it still comes with enough daily use trade-offs that I personally would not pick it over dbrand's other options. Now, if you want to see a case that I tested on more than just manufactured hardwood floors, including wood, concrete, and asphalt, check out my dbrand tech case video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.